Inflation and how to survive it. You wake up one morning, open your phone, and realize your coffee costs 50 cents more than it did last week. You laugh it off. It's just coffee. Next month, your rent goes up, then your grocery bill, then your car insurance. And one day, you stop laughing because everything's more expensive, except you. That's inflation. The silent thief that doesn't break into your house, it breaks into your future. Let me tell you a story. There's a guy named Ethan, 32, lives in Phoenix, works a decent job in sales, makes around 65 grand a year. Nothing crazy, but enough to feel comfortable. 3 years ago, Ethan could fill his cart at Walmart for $100. Now that same cart, $180. His rent jumped from $1,200 to $1,900, and yet his paycheck? Still the same. He's not lazy. He's not stupid. He's just trapped in a system that's designed to make him think he's doing fine while quietly draining him dry. See, this is the problem nobody wants to talk about. Inflation isn't an accident. It's a design. The government prints money like a kid prints homework, fast and careless, and then acts surprised when the economy collapses under its own weight. You think they care about your grocery bills? No, they care about control. Because when money loses value, your time loses value. And when your time loses value, you become dependent. Let me make this simple. Inflation is taxation without permission. They don't raise your taxes directly. They just print more money, and every dollar they print steals value from the one in your pocket. It's not some economic theory, it's arithmetic. You're not broke because you don't work hard enough. You're broke because the system punishes savers and rewards debt. Now, Ethan, he didn't understand that, so he did what normal people do. He saved. He cut coupons. He stopped eating out. He tried to be smart. But month after month, his money bought less. He's playing checkers in a world of chess. Because inflation doesn't care how disciplined you are. It only cares whether you understand how the game works. And that's where the agitation begins. Because this isn't just about prices, it's about power. When the dollar loses value, everything you thought was secure becomes a mirage. Your savings? Worth less. Your retirement? Worth less. Your time? Worth less. They tell you, inflation is 3% this year, but go to the store, it's not 3%, it's 30% on the things you actually buy. Eggs, gas, housing, those are not numbers on a chart. Those are hours of your life stolen silently. And while you're struggling to make rent, the same people who printed the money are buying assets that benefit from inflation. They're not scared. They're smiling. Because inflation destroys the poor and makes the rich richer. Let that sink in. The people who control money don't own dollars. They own assets, stocks, real estate, businesses, things that inflate when the dollar deflates. You're holding cash, the one thing guaranteed to lose value over time. That's the trap. They tell you to save, but the only thing you're saving is their control over you. Ethan started noticing this too. He started tracking his expenses, watching his bank account shrink, not from spending more, but from everything costing more. One day, his landlord told him rent was going up again. He laughed. Man, I can't keep up with this. And his landlord said something that hit him hard. That's the point. You're not supposed to. You want to know why most people never escape the inflation trap? Because they think the answer is make more money. But that's the lie. Making more doesn't matter if your dollar buys less. The real answer? Change what you own. See, inflation doesn't hurt people who own things that inflate. If prices rise and you own the asset, you rise with them. It hurts those who rent their lifestyle, their home, their job, their time. That's the reality shock no one's ready for. You can't outwork inflation. You can only outthink it. Let me break down the truth they never taught you in school. Inflation is the gap between your earning power and your understanding of money. The bigger that gap, the more pain you'll feel. If you think your job will save you, you've already lost. If you think cutting expenses will make you rich, you're delusional. If you think the government will fix inflation, good luck, because they are inflation. Now, I'm not saying quit your job tomorrow. I'm saying start building an economic shield. You survive inflation by shifting from consumer to owner. You own skills. You own assets. You own distribution. You stop renting everything, your time, your attention, your effort, and start converting them into something that multiplies value. Ethan finally got it. He stopped saving for the sake of saving. He started buying small pieces of businesses, ETFs, index funds, a bit of Bitcoin, learning how money actually moves. He built a side hustle not to get rich quick, but to build something that earns while he sleeps. And for the first time in his life, inflation stopped scaring him because he stopped being a victim of the dollar and became a controller of value. That's the solution no politician will ever tell you. Don't fight inflation. Learn to benefit from it. Because the wealthy don't fear inflation. They expect it. They position for it. They profit from it. When cash burns, they buy assets. When assets rise, they leverage them. When people panic, they stay calm because they understand that panic is profit. But you've been trained to be scared, to sit tight, to trust the system, while the system is robbing you in slow motion. You're not lazy, you're just uninformed. And in today's world, being uninformed is more expensive than being poor. So let's end this with a hard truth. The era of comfort is over. If you're still living paycheck to paycheck, still depending on one source of income, still thinking saving is safety, you're playing a game that ended 20 years ago. Inflation isn't coming. It's here. And if you don't adapt, it'll eat you alive. You want to survive? Here's how. Get angry, then get educated. Learn how money actually works. Read, watch, study. If you don't understand what inflation is, you'll always be a victim of it. Buy what appreciates. Real estate, stocks, businesses, even your own skills. Things that grow faster than inflation eats. Stop worshiping comfort. Inflation punishes comfort. It rewards adaptability. So move, create, build. Think in decades, not paychecks. The poor think monthly. The rich think generationally. Build leverage. Time, tech, distribution. Use AI. Use the internet. Build systems that work even when you're asleep. Because the game has changed, and it's not about working harder anymore. It's about playing smarter. When Ethan finally understood this, he stopped complaining about prices and started positioning himself to profit from them. Inflation didn't go away, but now every time the dollar dropped, his assets went up. He realized something powerful. The goal isn't to beat inflation. The goal is to outgrow it. So here's my question to you. While everyone's panicking about prices, what are you building? Because if you don't own something, you are the thing being owned. Inflation doesn't care about feelings. It doesn't care about fairness. It only respects those who adapt. So adapt. Now. The system will always print more money. But you can print new opportunities. You can print new income streams. You can print new versions of yourself that can't be destroyed by the economy. That's how you survive inflation. Not by hiding, but by evolving. Inflation steals from the blind, but it can't touch the awake.